you could almost say it's a show about, at least to my what I've seen so far, it's a show about friendship. Like it's very about making connections and growing and learning and helping in one another. So it's been very good so far. So yeah, there's still a lot. I think it's 8 episodes. I think I have 4 more to get through. So
Yeah, it's an incredible series. Like you said, given you're not really follow the MCU, as someone who kind of follows the films and shows, this is a breath of fresh air. If you're hearing this, we welcome you to another episode of It's the Stream of Life podcast with Brandon and Lorin. And we have a ton of content for you today. But first, how has your week been? It's a brand new month. The snow is melting away. How's it going?
yeah, pretty good. Because of that, mainly just the snow has been on the ground for like 3 weeks and it's been horrible. But it's melting away. Temperatures are kind of climbing. They're better than the teens, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's been good.
Yeah, same here. It reached 30 degrees today. I was very happy.
Right.
A little heat wave in Richmond. Well, we'll go ahead and get started on our, like I said, we have a jackpot filled episode today. But first, let's get into some current events. Not this past Sunday, but the previous Sunday, we had the Grammy Awards on CBS.
hmm
Now, did you watch the entire 3 hour
Absolutely not.
telecast?
No. I
Okay,
watched
yeah.
a decent amount, enough to see what I kind of wanted to see, but no.
Right. I tuned in for the first hour, dropped off to watch Industry, and then kind of hit and miss the rest of it. There's no need for it
Right.
to be 3 hours and then
No, it's
only give
insane.
away 9 awards.
Right, right.
I think I'm going to start watching actually the pre-ceremony because they actually give out a lot more awards. You see more like
Yeah, that you
genuine
don't see.
moments,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then just catch the other stuff like catch who I want to see and the next day or something like that. Because it
exactly.
does get ridiculous. And while the ratings were strong, they did see a drop compared to last year. And this was the last year the Grammys would be on CBS as they're moving to ABC next year. So we'll see if Disney does anything different
Right.
with the show that's, I think it's been on CBS for decades. So it is sort of
Wow.
like
It's crazy.
different for it to shift. Yeah. So the big winners that night were, of course, Olivia Dean for Best New Artist. I had never really listened to her. I knew about her, but I hadn't tapped in. So I listened to the album. I think on the way to work the next day, loved it.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think she
No,
was.
she's very. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just saying. I
Oh
think she
no,
was
it's just
the best. I was gonna say she was the best performer of that new artist stretch as well.
yeah,
Because
absolutely. And she's so good. She's so good. Got a great voice and just I think the first time I saw her was definitely on YouTube and the algorithm just recommended something and she was singing live and I was like, whoa, what a strong voice. So very, very good.
yeah, well deserved. Then we moved to Song of the Year, which was Billie Eilish for Wildflower. There was
Mm,
some talk about how this song came out in 2024, but I guess it
true,
wasn't
true.
technically eligible then. So it was eligible this time around, but um, I don't remember hearing the song, but people said it was well deserved. It's just an older song, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And we know how she collects Grammys like Tic
This is very
Tacs.
true as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And then for a peculiar moment of the ceremony, Kendrick Lamar and SZA won Record of the Year for Luther, which was presented by Cher in a very awkward transition. I
Right,
don't know what
right.
was going on. She came out because she accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award, and then forgot she was supposed to give an award.
Right. Yeah.
And then once she announced it, she said Luther
The
Vandross,
fan drops. Which is
which,
insane, yeah.
which was funny. Yes, the song kind of sampled a song by him and Cheryl Lynn,
Yeah.
so it was kind of related, but it was sort of comical. Um,
Right.
but but another win for Kendrick, who's had like two of the best past years. He had the Super Bowl last year, the Dragon of Drake, and then the
hmm
Grammys he collected, and then it continued to this year where he won
Right.
this best rap album, I think best rap song as well.
Right.
So he swept up. He surpassed Jay Z as the most winning hip hop artist in Grammy history already.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's quite the accomplishment.
hmm And then album of the year went to Bad Bunny. He was
Yeah,
sort of like the front runner, given his album has been sort of like a global phenomenon. He
yeah,
very quickly received the award, and he, as many as others, spoke out against ICE and the other vile things that are happening to American citizens of color, undocumented citizens, whichever, which was a theme throughout and highly appropriate. So then on that high, Bad Bunny continued this week at the Super Bowl, earning the most watched Super Bowl with like 134 million people tuning in. So he broke a record there. Before we get to the halftime show, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots making like their 12th appearance in the Super
yeah. They've been
Bowl.
there a lot.
And it's a classic showdown because the last time these teams faced off, it was Russell Wilson and Tom Brady.
Right.
Um, what did you think of the game? I know you had some skin in it. You were rooting for a certain team. How did you think the game
Yeah.
went? Because I didn't watch it in totality.
I watched after, let's see, I watched it through the midway through the third quarter, and that's when things really started to change. And I was going for the Seahawks, so I'm glad they won because I can't stand uh, New England. But God, it was a boring game. It was such a boring game. The first half was horrendous. I think halftime was 9-0, so it was three field goals. So it's just like it can't keep going like this. And then um, Drake May started to mess up. I think he got sacked 7 times, and then he threw
Ooh.
2 or 3 interceptions, which all those sacks and interceptions are which changed the game for Seattle.
hmm
So yeah, the game itself was not great. Kind of how I thought it would go in terms of Seattle winning, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how many people were really. The majority of Americans, I feel like, were not rooting for those teams. Like they were kind of dark
absolutely
horses.
not.
They had great
Yeah,
records, but you were either rooting for the Eagles, rooting for the Ravens, the
right,
Rams. Like some other team was sort of like in the zeitgeist. So it was
right.
surprising those two made it. And my parents watched and they said this is boring, so
It
I didn't tune
was.
in.
It was.
But then we get to the halftime show. I thought Benito did a great job.
Yeah,
Great set production, a lot of guest stars that worked well. You had Lady Gaga appear, Ricky Martin. You had cameos from like other Latin artists, Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, Carol G. Some other people were there, and it just told a story. Fully in Spanish language, so you may not understand what he said, but you could definitely
yeah,
tell from the storytelling, the set pieces, everything that he was telling the story, and he
exactly.
ended on a profound message. Only thing that can defeat hate basically is love. Um, and went on to name the countries of South and North America, saying, we were better together. Like we are America, like all of us together. I thought was
Right.
a beautiful message.
Yeah, it was a very good performance, and um, it's just wild to see where he's come from because I mean, I don't speak Spanish fluently, but I've listened to Bad Bunny for a while, and he when he first came out, I remember him having kind of like not a buzz cut, but like a fade almost. He looked completely different than he does now. Most people will know that his music was different. He's gone through a lot of stages. At one point, he was wrestling for WWE. He's done so many different side quests and stuff, and um,
Yeah,
but yeah, to see him on that stage was kind of cool, and it looked like he enjoyed it as well. And the we won't talk about the people who didn't enjoy it, but I think all of the
right.
United States and abroad really were like, "Wow, what a moment!" So it was very good.
Yeah, he's the people's champ right now, and his
Yeah,
music
he
is
is.
global, so it's going to have a global audience, going to have a little bit of everyone
Exactly.
involved. That's why I love the promo for his Super Bowl performance was him dancing with all different type of people and
Hmm.
like just the array of diversity, which is what America is, and trying to
Right.
extinguish that is just anti-American. It's not going to work.
Exactly. And every time the Super
Um.
Bowl comes around, I was gonna say, every
Oh
time
no.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
comes around in the halftime show, I always try to think about who's next, and I can't even place anybody like Bruno Mars has already done it, but he has a
Hmm.
CD coming out, and he's one of those people that's like, maybe they'll tap him again. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's safe, but
Right.
collects people and sees. Yeah, I don't know who they're going to
Exactly.
get next.
I have no
Um,
clue.
yeah.
I guess we'll
In
see who has a big
addition,
year.
yeah, in addition to the Super
Right.
Bowl, that always, besides the game, the halftime show is the commercials. And I
Yeah.
heard quite a fervor that they weren't great this year.
No, they were bad. They weren't like heartwarming. They weren't funny. They weren't clever. Most of them were AI. There were a couple of MAGA ones, and there's a commercial about Trump's accounts that he's making for children. There's something about Make America Healthy Again with Mike Tyson, and then the most terrifying one, which I hope nobody thought was a good commercial, is the one that was done by Ring, who does the doorbell, and
Yeah,
essentially they were just happily disguising their surveillance state material by saying, "Oh well, in our new system, you can have access to everybody in your neighborhood's cameras, so you can find your missing dog." And it's like, what? What?
absolutely not.
Right? Yeah. No, it's absolutely. It was bad, very bad, and just shows where we are, and nobody needs that. So
Yeah, the commercials weren't great.
no.
Um, Other than maybe the movie promos, which I think a lot of
Right?
them were
Yeah.
just repeat trailers for films we already knew they were coming out.
Right.
I didn't hear much talk about the commercials. The Ring thing is terrifying. I
Right.
saw the Mike Tyson one because it was right after Bad Bunny, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Are you serious?"
It's so weird.
We're,
And the that one was bad, and the Jewish hate one was kind of like so strange. The fact that it was a black kid that was helping him was like, all right.
Here's the thing, like, yes, anti-Semitism is a thing,
Right.
but me personally, I could not tell a Jewish person on the street unless they said, "Hi, I'm a Jewish American." You are white.
Right. Right. I get
Like,
what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
who in 2026 in high school is picking out the Jews out of the lineup? I don't. It doesn't
I
make any sense.
I have no clue. Yeah. It was a very odd commercial, and who was behind it? It was
It was some. I
yeah. I
forget.
can't.
I didn't. It's just the same people that did like the blue square things for anti-Semitism
Yeah.
hate. It's just they're. It's propaganda for a problem that's not really existing. I guess
Mm,
they want to stir the problem up. It feels like because we don't. Yes, hate crimes happen, but it's not at the level of Jim Crow or the way you're attacking brown people. So I don't.
right. Right.
It's just very strange.
It is. It's very odd.
Yeah, I other than Benny, uh, the Super Bowl is getting tainted very, very quickly. I don't know if it will change once we get out of this administration or if we don't ever. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like
They
I don't
just
know.
they need to go back to the way it used to be, and it sounds so old school, but don't show me any commercials. Don't put online. Don't show me anything 2 weeks before. Save it until the Super Bowl. Uh, Death to AI. Nobody needs that shit.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, just try to focus on the game atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the times that we're in is just it just didn't feel very exciting in general. Like for
Yeah,
weeks, the halftime show has been overshadowing whoever would have been in the Super Bowl.
yeah. The whole draw for the Super Bowl, in addition to the game, was the joy of seeing the commercials for the first time. So I don't
Yeah,
understand how article upon article upon article, the days ahead,
right.
you're taking any type of excitement or anticipation
Away from
out
it. Right.
of the game. It's very strange, or out of the experience, I would say. So I don't know. It's not like you can't show it for the first time there and then watch it later on YouTube. I don't understand why we need the pre screening. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
But that was Super Bowl 60. We'll have 61 next year. Um, it's anybody's game at this point. There's no really front runners for next season. You had
Yeah.
your two previous sort of uh, heavy shakers out early in the playoffs. So, like I said, it's anyone's game next year, so it's very interesting. We'll now transition to our first segment here. Um, we'll be discussing Marvel's new series, Wonder Man. Now, this was a show that was announced way back before the strike. I'm going to say maybe 2022, something like that. Of course, the strike delayed production, and we're just now getting it. All episodes dropped on I think 2 weeks ago. I think the end of January 27th. All eight episodes dropped. It's a limited series starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Ben Kingsley, centering on sort of like an obscure character in the Marvel universe. Simon Williams was originally an actor who I believe went through an experiment because he wanted to become a superhero, so he got powers. He was evil for once, and then eventually he joins the West Coast Avengers. So he's had a very interesting trajectory, but he's definitely a lower level hero, which makes it work because it seems they do better with unknowns because there's not expectations from fans to what to expect in the show and whatnot, and you can kind of go anywhere with the direction of the story. So what were your thoughts on the series? How much have you watched, and what were your initial thoughts on the show, given it's sort of like a different take for Marvel?
So I got to about 3.5 episodes before I'm in episode 4. But what I will say is that as someone who isn't so deep into MCU or anything, this is kind of a breath of fresh air because there's not really super suits and special powers and stuff. It's very real, which is something that's very good for MCU. It feels, I won't say lived in, but it seems very based in reality more than other shows. So that's a very cool aspect of it. And I guess human is a word I'm saying they're looking for.
Yeah.
Just very, especially with the fact that he's a struggling actor, and was one of the next questions about themes, but I'll go to that. You could almost say it's a show about, at least to what I've seen so far, it's a show about friendship. Like it's very about making connections and growing and learning and helping in one another. So it's been very good so far. So yeah, there's still a lot. I think it's 8 episodes. I think I have 4 more to get through. So
Yeah, it's an incredible series. Like you said, given you're not really follow the MCU, as someone who kind of follows the films and shows, this is a breath of fresh air because for a while now, Marvel has suffered with projects not having strong stories, just projects that connect to the next project. Like people come in expecting to see what's happening next instead of sitting with the story they're given. And I always say you can't go wrong with a great story, and this is that. You've got Simon Williams, a struggling actor who is excellent at his craft. We learn that he auditions great, but once in the role, he's too much in his head, and because of this sort of great talent, he suffers socially, and he's sort of moved through life in isolation. But we gradually learn that's because he's bearing a secret that could stymie himself from achieving his dream.
Right.
And they connect this sort of offshoot story to the MCU with Ben Kingsley character Trevor Slattery, who we all know played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Right.
It turns out he was an actor who took on that role to pay off some debts. And they sort of connect through sort of like ulterior motives at first, from Trevor's standpoint, because there's people that know about Simon's secret and they want to basically contain him because they feel he's a danger to society.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One thing. Oh no, it's just a funny thing. I was not ready for Ben Kingsley's hair in this show. I was like, okay, that's a bit of a distraction, but other than that.
It's part of his character.
and he's such a good actor too, which brings so much to this show as well. And you don't want to see actors get pigeonholed, but you can't watch this and not think about oh God, what's the show that Abdullah he was in before? He was another superhero. Watchmen, thank you. Yeah, and that was the same way. While it was Watchmen, it still wasn't superhero-y. It's very human. It's very
Mm-hmm.
reality based, and yeah, he does a good job at that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The themes here, the theme of friendship, the theme of
Right,
connection. You've got these two men who are striving to sort of escape whatever identity they think of themselves.
right,
They both
exactly.
have a sort of past that's sort of holding them back, and together, given their fondness for acting, they kind of work through that with each other. It's a great series. I
It's
love,
so good.
yeah, the comedic timing is great. Um, the sort of meta take on Hollywood is very interesting. And like you said, the acting is superb. When they have their
Right,
little act offs, when they're like performing different scenes from different
right, right.
movies, like it's spectacular. Even in the scene where he's doing his self tape, like the talent is there.
Yeah.
Without
So yeah.
spoiling anything, I'll say this is probably the best Marvel series since WandaVision.
Oh wow. And it's funny you said that because whenever I watch a show, I always talk about this. I sometimes read reviews and went to Reddit and WandaVision kept coming up about the show in comparison about this being the next best thing from that. So that sticks. So I'll have to finish it out.
Yeah, it's really good, and just those 8 episodes is the perfect length. Um, it breezes by. I'm very impressed. Destin Daniel Cretton is the director and creator,
Mm,
co-creator, along with Andrew Guest. So they partnered on this. Cretton did Shang-Chi, and he just did a new Spider-Man movie as well.
oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, they're definitely giving him a chance to sort of breathe something new into the MCU. And hopefully they continue this streak throughout the year. We've got the second season of Daredevil Born Again coming in March. You've got the standoff, one off, sort of like mini movie for the Punisher as well.
Okay.
And I think you'll have Spider Man and eventually Doomsday. So we'll have to see how all this stuff leads to this
Wow.
quote unquote epic, I don't know, peak of whatever saga we're in
Yeah.
right now. But yeah,
Incredible.
definitely check Wonder Man out if you haven't. And I'd love to hear your thoughts once you wrap it up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to get to that. And it is helpful that their episodes are short. So,
Yes, yes. All right, now we're transitioning to our next segment, our Oscar watch.
yes.
So now through March 15th, we are going to attempt to watch all the Oscar films nominated for Best Picture and little movies in between here and there nominated for other things. So it looks like we both kind of watched. Well, I know you watched quite a few of these already, so I'm playing catch up.
Right.
But we're going to talk about first Netflix's Train Dreams. This
Yes.
stars Joel Edgerton as a man in the early, sort of like industrial age of
Right.
America. They're building railroads. This is sort of like his job. It takes him away from his home seasonally, and just sort of like his life in this time, and sort of just the honestly the experiences he has, the connections he makes, and how they make him throughout his life.
Exactly.
Um, I was not expecting the emotional
It's very emotional. Yeah.
journey this film
Right.
was going to take, because I honestly just thought it was about his family, sort of like maybe
Right.
possible ups and downs, but it definitely takes you on a journey that kind of leaves you breathless, and
Yes.
is just a good sort of like good expose on life in general.
Yeah. And you're right. And it's classified as a drama, but there are elements of this I feel like you could almost also like drama slash fantasy. It's very dreamy. It's very, I won't say left field, but it's not what you think when you see the cover or watch the trailer. It's very different than that. But you're
Right.
absolutely right. That when I first watched it, that's what I saw. And then the emotion comes from the story, but also comes from the setting. It comes from the heartbreak, and it's kind of a film that's about grief, and not so much grief as in losing people, but grief as in, well, I didn't, you didn't live the life that you thought you would, maybe, which is
Right.
sometimes maybe sadder
Yeah,
than
kind of grief of lost time, essentially.
exactly, exactly. But oh
Yeah.
man, fantastic. The scenery and both these films had what's her name in it? Carrie Condon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just now realized that, yeah. I would say it feels very sort of art workshop without
Right.
totally leaning in it completely. The cinematography was amazing.
Yeah.
Most of it is shot outside, like
Yeah.
just in the world, in wildlife, in forestry. I thought Joe did a great job,
Yeah.
just sort of like just existing. And it's interesting. He always came back to like the same dreams, specifically at certain points of his life where there was great loss. You
Right.
had, of course, the early unfortunate murder of the Asian immigrant that he worked
Right.
alongside, and the other men he sort of met in this sort of this life. The William H. Macy character,
Yeah.
um, and one of the funniest parts, the preacher who he encountered, who just turned out to
Yeah.
be a felon.
And he wouldn't stop talking. Yeah.
That was funny. And then, of course, the other large moment, which definitely took me by surprise, was the loss of his mother, his wife, and
Wife
daughter
and daughter.
to a house fire, I guess a forest fire,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting him to lose like two of the supporting characters of the
Yeah.
film.
And then from there he just kind of he loses himself. Like they said, and that's another thing. And I want to know, did you like the narration, or could you have done the film without the narration?
I actually liked the narration because it kept me into it. I think without it, you might have gotten lost in some of the scenes,
Right,
especially
right,
to know what may have been real, what may have been a
not
dream, I
him
guess you
dreaming.
say.
Right, right,
Yeah, because without the narration, it would have been a little stale. I think
right.
the
Because
narration gave
I
a light guidance to it, or
yeah, absolutely. I think the narration gave the movie boundaries. Just kind of kept you,
hmm
like you said, heading in the right direction. And I think the narration reminded me of like movies from the '90s, like it sounds so stupid, like Sandlot and Field of Dreams, where there are narrators and stuff. And that's
hmm
why I feel like there's this fantastical element to it. But like we're looking in, but man, such good acting, and William H Macy is a treasure. He just completely embodied that character. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, very good movie.
yeah, definitely sort of just like a concentration on life, and like you said, like the loss of opportunity. You dream
Hmm.
of how you expect your life to go, and it was happening for him. He got a job, he met his wife, they had a child, they'll probably have another one on the way. He was gainfully employed, and then life said
Yeah,
it's going to take another direction, and you just have to.
exactly.
You never really settle with it. You just go with it as you can.
And I thought another thing that was you don't really think about because the film moves so seamlessly, but he went from when this country had still not even steel bridges. These bridges and train tracks were made out of wood. And then before he passed away, it was 1968. So he saw a man on the moon, which is like Jesus. That wasn't even 100 years apart. You know,
Right, right.
so just like you said, you lose so much time, and that's a great way to show it. Like here we are with wooden bridges. There's somebody walking on the moon with the American flag. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
it's
definitely
very
something
good.
he could not envision. Another
No, right, right,
sort of unthinkable dream, really.
right. Yep.
Yeah, very good film. Very good film. And then another film that sort of investigates life in the fast lane
Right.
was Apple TV's F1. This starred Brad Pitt as the lead, as Sonny Hayes, sort of a veteran race car driver who sort of lives basically by the this hem of his pants, sort of
Pretty much, yeah.
just out here. And we learned that he could have been something more, but a tragic accident in his early career sort of
Derailed
stifled
him, yeah.
him. Yeah, and he's sort of coming in to sort of revive a losing franchise, losing I don't know what you call it, racing team in the Formula One circuits, invited by his former pal, played by Javier Bardem, and they are fronted by the rookie Josh Pierce, who's played by Damson Idris. It's nice seeing him be able to act with his natural accent.
Accent, yeah. He's been in so many American films.
Right, right. So, very star-studded cast: Damson Idris, Bardem, Kerry Condon, as we mentioned. The guy from Killing Eve, whose name is slipping me, but I just knew
Yeah,
that was
when it's
him.
funny, when I was watching it, I was like, I know his face, and I couldn't think of it. I couldn't think of it until I asked Candace. I had to show her a picture, and I was like, oh, she was like, yeah, it's Killing Eve. I was like, oh, you're right, that's what it is.
Yeah, I kept before I thought of Killing Eve, I was like, well, he was in Andor. What show was he
Yeah,
in? But yeah, I hadn't seen him in a minute, so yeah, star-studded cast. I would say the movie could have been a little shorter. It didn't need to be
boy,
2
boy,
hours and 8 minutes,
yeah,
especially since it follows sort of like classic narrative tropes. Like there wasn't
right,
anything
exactly. It
narratively shocking or anything like that. It even had a little man gets girl, which felt
was odd and out of place.
unnecessary. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
why? Okay, um, but still good. The racing scenes were exciting.
yeah. Those
What
were
were
really
your
well done.
thoughts on the movie overall?
Yeah, overall, I really, really enjoyed it. It had a very summer blockbuster feel to it. Like, it definitely seems like it needs to, it's a film that you need to see somewhere with the right sound system and a big screen and with more people. But yeah, I did. I thought it was great, and it. I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but it's almost a perfect role for Brad Pitt at this time in his life. I mean, Brad Pitt is, and he in his 60s, I think.
I think at least early 60s should be. I
Yeah.
think.
So it's not even like he had to act too hard because in similarities he's
Right.
an older actor where there's younger actors coming behind him, and it's kind of a parallel thing. But um, no, it was very good. I really enjoyed it. I thought the some of the dialogue was weak, but
Yeah.
um,
Like I said,
uh,
it felt very. We had seen this movie before.
right,
You know
exactly.
what I'm
That's a good way to
saying?
put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But it was enjoyable. I thought the score was really nice.
Hmm.
Um, and it started as it ended, like him just driving.
Yeah.
Um, so that's sort of like how
And
he lived his life.
exactly. And what's his name's always good. Javier Bardem. I've not seen him
Yeah, he
take on a bad role.
rarely has a bad role. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
enjoyable. But yeah, two of the Best Picture nominated films this year at the Oscars: Train Dreams, which you can watch on Netflix, and F1, which you can watch on Apple TV. All right, now we'll transition to our other streams. I was able to tap in and become a movie subscriber since it has this
Yes.
dollar deal this weekend for 3 months.
Yep.
And I watched the last year's Sundance film, I believe, Lurker,
Yeah.
by Alex Russell, was not entirely what I was expecting. I knew, of course, there was a character who's sort of obsessed with another, sort of
Yeah.
like the male version of single white female
Yeah.
almost, but definitely more sinister, just the way everything wraps up. Like you weren't
Right.
expecting our protagonist to be successful because you're
Right.
not supposed to. You're not supposed
Exactly.
to to win at these type of things.
Right.
What were your thoughts on the movie?
It's it's the same thing. The movie's very good, and from the first time that you meet the protagonist, it it, it feels uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable film to watch because you feel too close to what's going on, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe
Hmm.
that's what they were going for, but um, Yeah, no, it was. You're absolutely right that it's like, wait a second, that's not supposed to be the ending. That's not supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's definitely sort of like sort of that stand concept for the modern age, for the social media age,
exactly.
and how we talk about parasocial relationships with people we don't know online or with celebrities, and how that
Yeah,
line between fan and celebrity gets blurred when you like message, J Lo and have her respond, or
exactly.
join the crew just because you ran into each other at a store. It's very good commentary. I thought, what's his name, Theodore Pellerin,
Hold on.
who played Matthew,
Yeah,
crazy good. I think he was most excellently terrifying in like the quiet moments where he's just before he's decided, like when he's scheming, like
right,
there's a scene where I think he's just looking at his computer, and the look in his eyes is like, yeah, you can see his mind calculating. It's just terrifying.
yeah. It's very, and it's something that a lot of people not do, but it's believable because he was lonely. He worked kind of a
Hmm.
dead end job. He really wasn't where he wanted to be in life, and at that point, your mind wanders and you do things like that, I guess.
Yeah,
So
and there's just a tidbit of like queerness around
yeah,
it, just
you feel that,
because the celebrity he's drawn to is male. You see, he
right?
has sort of like this obsession with him, but you don't know if it's sort of like lust, love, or if he just wants to be in the orbit or
Right,
what.
right.
They never really say it out loud, but you don't need to. Like subtlety is great
Absolutely.
in movies. Like you can say so much more with so much less.
Right.
Um, like we said, the ending. We don't want to spoil anything. But like the ending was just. It felt very much like Sharp Objects, like that sort of.
Like what? Like, right,
Yeah, just just shocking.
right. And also you don't get from the trailer or anything read before. It's actually a lot of humorous moments in it as well.
Very
Yeah.
funny. I mean, Zach Fox, you're not gonna not
Yeah, exactly.
laugh
Yeah, this is true.
with him in there. Um, and I noticed how no one seemed to pick up on his energy, but the like female manager, and I think that's because
Yeah.
she was a woman and she could kind of see him where the guys couldn't.
I didn't pick up on it. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think she picked on very early, like when he came to the performance. She just knew exactly
Like
who
something
he
was off.
was and what he was
Yeah.
about. Yeah, but yeah, his scheming all the way through, even to his quote unquote best friends, and then the ultimate plan to remain in the orbit and sort of take control was
Yeah.
unbelievably. I mean, that shouldn't have happened in the first place, but he set all those people up for a certain demise that was just diabolical.
Very
You
good.
got to be careful who you befriending on social media, basically.
This true. Yes, that is a PSA.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then I also tapped into the new season of Shrinking on Apple TV, season 3. A comedy drama by Bill Lawrence that stars Jason Segel as a therapist who is grieving the loss of his wife, and to sort of get over that hump, he starts giving unorthodox advice to his clients and starts to work. But of course, things go haywire as well. Great cast: Harrison Ford, Jessica Williams, Ted McKinley, Michael Urie. A great supporting cast. It's real touching series, and Michael J. Fox actually guest stars this season because Ford's character is a therapist who's suffering or who's living with Parkinson's. So
Um,
they've recruited Michael J. Fox as another Parkinson's patient on the show, and they'll have a relationship this season. So it's really good.
okay. Yeah.
Anything on your list?
No, I didn't watch too much this weekend. Just kind of chilled out. I've made a list of all the things that I need to watch. I have so many shows. I not watched a single second of Industry, so I will catch up on that.
Ooh.
I've heard it's been insane. A lot of twists.
Yeah,
With I keep seeing clips and stuff of what's her name? Karen Shipka, and like I said, I can't not see Sally Draper. That's all I see. So
yeah, yeah. This is
yeah,
definitely her adult role.
yeah,
Yeah, industry is really excuse me, really killing it. The budget is budgeting. It literally went from one of the least watched shows on HBO back when it premiered in 2020 to
yeah.
having this push by season 4. And hopefully they get some Emmy recognition because
Right.
the acting is great, the writing is great. I don't know how much longer the show can go on. I could see one more season, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Just
to
given
wrap it up.
the rate of how the characters side either die or just leave the show. But yeah, it's a great ride. Um, I'm enjoying that. I need to get into Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I watched the first episode and it was good. Everyone says it's really great.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that as well, and I it was just some random either tweet or maybe something on Instagram. Somebody said that they felt it was better than the House of the Dragon. So I was like, you know what, that's piqued my interest enough to let me tune in. But
Yeah, I
um,
could see that. It's
yeah,
something totally different in this franchise. It's more comical. Of course, it's connected to these other characters, but it's not the sort of political scheming and murder of Game of Thrones and House
yeah,
of the Dragon. Yeah.
but
And
so yeah.
then this month we've got Paradise season 2
Hmm.
returns on the 23rd. We've got season 2 Across, season 4 of Dark Winds. I never watched Scrubs, but I might tune into the reboots
Oh, okay,
on
yeah.
ABC or the revival. That starts the
It
25th of February, I believe.
is very funny.
I've always
So
seen clips,
yeah,
but I just never watched it as a whole. So,
yeah. Um, Also, there's another show on HBO. It is like Water for Chocolate. Its second season comes back the 15th, so which will be this coming Sunday after Valentine's Day, and it's very good. The first season is very short. I think it's like 6 episodes, and it's well worth it. And then I think it is everybody knows the novel, which is based on and is kind of set during the Mexican Revolution. But yeah, it's very good. And this second season, at least from the trailer, looks like it's gonna keep that going. So.
oh, nice, nice. All right. So if you're hearing this, one, thank you for listening to It's a Stream of Life podcast with Brandon and Lauren. You can continue with us in the following weeks as we continue racking up these Oscar films ready for the Academy Awards. Until then, keep on streaming.
Peace.